Perfect. Awesome. So, welcome everyone to session 2, ParaMotion. Today we will be talking about the connection between EDS and ADHD. And I will be presenting this presentation with my sister and co founder of ParaMotion. You have met her last time also, Maya. You want to say hi?
Sure. So, hi everyone.
Hi, Maya.
Hi, Maya.
I would speak a little bit about my background as well, since I haven't done last time. I have an engineering background and worked in medical research at Karolinska Institutet in Sweden, which is one of the top research centers in the world. And my focus was on women health, and I used data analytics. And during my work, I noticed that some conditions often don't get the attention that they need. And this hits close to home for me, since my sister and I deal with one of these conditions. And actually, not really only one. We're lucky. We have many, few.
A collection.
Yeah. So that's what inspired us to combine our love for science, tech, Web3, and AI to raise awareness and help others as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
So today we'll talk about the link between EDS and ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some slides here prepared to share some information and research. And let's have this session interactive. So please, just if you have a question, just jump in and or write in the chat.
Awesome. All right, let's dig in.
Sorry, but can you just center this screen for the recording?
Yeah, sure. Like this?
More in the middle. Yeah, perfect.
Like this?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Let's go.
So yeah, let's dive in. Let's have a recap and talk about EDS and HSD. We talked a little bit about it last time when we started.
Or maybe we ask you guys, do you remember anything from last time?
We do, of course. Okay. Like, definitely is a lot of information, but we try to are following, and said thank you for so far. It's very interesting how like the different, to understand.
Nice.
Yeah, but I think the more we repeat, the better, because it's better to keep it fresh in our mind.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's have a recap. First, we talk about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS, are named after two pioneer physicians, Edward Ehler, it's hard to pronounce, who is Danish, and Henry Alexander Danlos, who is French. Both of them first described these conditions, these connective tissue disorders, in the early 900s, actually. So it's even 100 years, more than 100 years, and still not so much advancement for this condition. Those syndromes involve genetic changes affecting collagen. What is collagen? Collagen is it's a protein that acts like the body's glue, supporting all the structure in the body, like the bones, ligament, tendon, blood vessels, and even organs, like the gastrointestinal tract. So it's everywhere in the body. And when the glue is not working properly, so that's why we feel like a little bit disjointed.
Sorry, Maya, can I ask you to speak a bit slower for the second language people?
Yeah, maybe a bit slower.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So now let's go to, talk about HSD, like hypermobility spectrum disorder. On the other hand, also describe joint hypermobility, and it's associated with the same challenges as EDS. While HSD doesn't really meet the criteria for EDS diagnosis. So that's why it's considered in a clinical practice right now as a different condition. But a recent study showed that both conditions have the same genetic origin, and actually there are the same disease but different severity. So it's both the same condition with different variations, but it will take a little bit of time for the clinical practice to come on board and start to consider it as one. So just for you to know, like if you're not diagnosed with EDS, it doesn't mean that you don't have it. It's just because the criteria need to be updated. And the severity of the symptoms for both people with EDS and HSD can be the same. And as you can see here, remember in the picture, we have the zebra and the horses, and the zebra is the symbol of our disease. So the zebra was chosen as a symbol because of the medical phrase used in medical education. When you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras, which is used to encourage doctors to consider common conditions before the rare one. And EDS for now is still considered like a rare condition, so the zebra was a fitting symbol, even though like new research also showed that it's not as rare as the doctors think.
Mm-hmm.
It's impact like around 1 to 2% of the population in the US, which means like it's around 10 million people in the US alone.
It's a lot of people.
And it is a lot of people.
And these are just the diagnosed. So you have a lot of people who are not diagnosed yet, and there are some that are misdiagnosed with other conditions. So
yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's even more.
It's absolutely even more. And especially like to get diagnosed with it, it takes like the average time between 10 to 12 years. So you need to struggle for 10, 12 years for the doctor to take you seriously and start considering not the obvious solution.
Yeah, it took me like 20 years. Yeah.
The other next slide, please.
Sure. Let's go.
And here we put an image just to show you, to have an idea what we mean about joint hypermobility.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, for your hand, sometimes your thumb can go more than 90 degrees, and your fingers can also bend more than for example, for me it doesn't bend more than 90 degrees for my other fingers, but it just when it can go easily behind a straight line. And you can see also for the elbow here, like an angle, the angle that can shape. We call it double jointed, and also here with the knees, and you can lock your knee, go beyond the straight line.
Yeah, you can lock it or you can hyperextend it. When I was a kid, I was able to really it was kind of a really weird angle that I was able to make with my knees. Now that I have been working out, I could make it straight and it doesn't go as far back. Yeah, it can start from a really young age. You could when you're starting to walk and stuff, you're already so hypermobile.
And one also to say if you can bend and put your hands on the floor in the shape here, like shape 1, it's also considered, and very easily without bending your knee. So when you have straight legs and you can bend and touch the ground, and I thought everybody can do that. Apparently it's something specific for us people. And also in the movies I always wondered why people making holding something zipper. What do you say?
Oh yeah. When you zip your dress from the back, because of our hypermobile shoulders, we can just zip it, And a lot of people complain, somebody help me zip my dress. So nope. Why? Why can't you do it?
Why do you make it a big deal?
Easy. Yeah, and you could also do party tricks. When I was little, I would also do put my feet next to my head. I was able to bend in all directions, and it looks cool when your kids look what I can do with my body, and it doesn't hurt. Maybe in the beginning I wasn't in pain, but as you age, you get older, then you start to realize, it's not supposed to be this way, and then pain comes in. And so when you're a kid, it can be cool actually to be hypermobile.
Yeah, and the thing is, sometimes some people say I was hypermobile when I was a kid, But with time now, for example, I cannot do this anymore. And it just, we lose flexibility with age, but we can still be hypermobile because our body trying to hold ourselves together. So some muscles are gonna be very tense to hold us straight. So we will lose some of our capacity, but it doesn't mean that we are not hypermobile anymore. And also there are other symptoms. Of course, here just a visual. Also flat feet, toes that bend beyond normal limits, and rounded shoulders. So a lot of people also have the TMJ pain and cervical instability. For example, I always have very tense muscles on my necks and upper shoulders. That's because it's very hard to stabilize my head over my body.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
How is the TMJ leg? Because that's my main thing.
Yeah, TMJ is a huge
I want
thing.
to know.
Yeah.
To
Yeah, we will do another session about each joint and the solution and specific exercises about it. Yeah, but TMJ also because it's really linked. It's a muscle, you know, and it's really linked to your neck muscles as well. And since we're hypermobile, we don't have a straight head. If you
have a forward head posture, for example, it will get your jaw out of alignment, and you might hear clicking sound and stuff like this. So so really, it's a lot about posture, and also the joint itself in the jaw is mobile. So it goes. What does hypermobile really mean? It means that the joint goes into a range that is abnormal. It goes too far, or it goes in places it's not supposed to go. So when the jaw does that, obviously it will create with age and with time. It will create tension. It will create the muscles around it will have to hold extra hard to keep the jaw in place. You know. So all the muscles there are overworking to stabilize, and they will get a lot of pain from there as well. And with time, maybe like if it's not, you know, if you don't fix it with physiotherapy and stuff like this, some people I know they get surgery and stuff like that to stabilize the joint and like have implants there, or even use Botox. Some people use Botox.
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend going into extreme solutions. I obviously recommend as soon as possible to start working on those things, either one-on-one with someone or start like looking into, you know, online and find like some things that work for you. And we will provide more help as well with this. So you can always reach out, but it's very common. I have TMJ as well. It's very common.
Yeah, as we said, we will like have joint specific lectures in the future, and each one talk all about the causes and the solutions as well.
Yeah.
And can you go to the next slide, please?
Let's go.
So as we said, it's not only about the joints. We have many other symptoms, since the connective tissue cover all our bodies. So it can impact all our organs, and we have pain a little bit everywhere. So joint instability and sometimes dislocations or subluxations, injury to connective tissue in and around the joint. We feel joint pain, muscle pain, and sometimes nerve pain. Why the nerve pain? Because if our muscles and our joint not aligned in the right direction, they're gonna push on the nerve, and that's why we have the nerve pain. So we need to do some exercises and to glide the nerve into its proper place, and to the muscles to hold properly the joint, so it will reduce this pain. Some people have also scoliosis, hernia. Lots of us have chronic pain, depression and anxiety, problem with bladder control. So we need to go to the toilet a lot, way more than normal people. Pelvic floor weakness and prolapse, easy bruising. I always find some blue somewhere on my body. I don't know why, or don't remember where. We have stretchy skin and fragile, scarring. So when we get some wound, it's very like slow at healing, and it keep a scar. It's very hard to heal properly. We have GI problems like IBS, heartburn, and constipation. And of course, the sleep problems. Sometimes we sleep, we feel like collapse in our body. We have pain in our body. We move a lot during our sleep, which disturb our sleep, and sometimes we cannot really breathe properly, which also make us cannot don't sleep very deeply, which also will impact all other functions.
And also we clench, right? Going back to the TMJ comment, during our sleep we clench our jaw a lot, so we might wake up already with a sore jaw, especially if our head is out of alignment while we're sleeping, like the forward head I was talking about before. And obviously correcting subconscious movement when you're sleeping, your subconscious, you cannot, you're unaware, so that's why you need to work so hard to create this brain mapping. I will talk a little bit about the management tools later, because you need to kind of create a new pattern of movement where your head goes into the right place, and then you don't have to clench your jaw as much. But one clear sign, if you wake up, just wake up and look in the mirror and look at your tongue. If your tongue has a lot of edges on the side, it means you've been clenching, you've been biting your tongue, and that's a sign that there's something is not going well. So,
and one of the symptoms, now that you're talking about the tongue, you reminded me. One of the symptoms as well linked to mast cell activation and EDS is a swollen tongue. So do you feel like your tongue is a little bit big?
Too big for the space.
For the space, and that's why your teeth keep marks on the side. That's also one of the symptoms. It's called geographic tongue, I think. So we will also talk about it. And actually, you need to do exercise for your tongue, because our tongue is always out of place and relaxed. So we also, I didn't know before, like I was really astonished to understand, like I need to exercise my tongue, I need to do exercise my toes, I need everything. We need to exercise everything. So
yeah, that's why you need the holistic approach, and you need to work with someone that understands this condition, has maybe have it themselves and reached a certain level. Because if you go and train with someone who maybe read a paper about this, they wouldn't understand how complex it is, how deep it is, and they wouldn't be able to give you the right exercise program that really targets every joint in your body and really makes you feel better as a whole. So maybe you feel better a little bit in some places, but maybe you injure yourself. Maybe you do exercises, they think it's good, but they don't understand maybe for EDS body this exercise maybe is not good. Maybe also you're doing this exercise not optimally because you're moving from already a bad posture. So maybe you're not ready for this exercise. So it's very important to get the right help, not just any kind of help. Because I have gotten, before I educated myself in this, and now I'm certified and stuff like this, and I have experience with my own body and with other people. So before this, I would go to like PTs or physiotherapists, and they were doing more harm than good, I would spend 2-3 hours a day working out and then end up injured, so it was really frustrating. So that's why I'm telling you now, like it's better for you to really look into the right help than any kind of help.
Next slide, please.
Yeah.
So that was the recap, and I think everybody's happy to have a clearer idea about the.
Do you guys feel it's more clear now? Yes, no, maybe. Yes. Awesome. All right, let's keep going.
So now let's take a closer look at ADHD and what it really means. First, ADHD isn't just a collection of symptoms. It is a disorder of regulation. This means it affects how someone manages their attention, emotion, energy levels, and impulses. It's like the brain's control center struggles to keep things balanced. So at its core, ADHD is tied to the function of the frontal cortex of our brain. This part of the brain helps us pause, think, and make decisions. When it's not working at its best, it can make it harder to stop and evaluate before reacting. So tasks like slowing down, holding back a response, not act immediately, or carefully considering the next step when planning something, it becomes a real challenge. And that gives me so much anxiety for me, like planning or like holding my reaction. I always words come out of my mouth without me thinking. So understanding these key aspects help us see ADHD as not as a character flaw, but as a neurological condition that affects self-regulation. Do you need to add anything, Ines, on this slide? Otherwise, we can move to the next one.
All right, let's go.
So here we'll let's dive into the causes of ADHD. One thing to keep in mind is that the causes are complex and not fully understood till now. ADHD isn't just about one factor. It's a mix of influences working together. So let's break down what the research have shown so far. First, genetics play a big role. ADHD often runs in families with certain genes, especially those genes that are related to dopamine. Those genes play a key role. Everybody knows about the link with the dopamine. Then there are brain differences. Research shows structural and functional differences in the brain area that control attention and impulses. Environmental factors, of course, contribute as well. Things like prenatal exposure to toxin. That's something we cannot really control.
Like mold, for example.
Yeah, but that's prenatal, before you got even born,
yeah.
So we're screwed before even being born.
What did you do wrong? I was in the womb for a while.
Yeah. Complication at birth. As I said, like even before, a complication at birth and after. Stress in early childhood can increase the risk. Trauma can increase the risk. From a developmental perspective, delayed brain maturation, they say also, and differences in how brain connection may also be a big factor. Lifestyle, even though they can be related to ADHD symptoms, but they're not really the cause. They can just make the symptoms much worse, like diet and poor sleep and all those things. So as you can see here, you can see how ADHD can impact our brain and how the differences, but it's not really the real cause. So this is correlation and not really causation. And what's really interesting that ADHD often comes hand in hand with other health conditions. Like studies have found strong link between ADHD and conditions like asthma, allergic reactions, like hay fever. I suffer from those two conditions. Sleep disordered and also sleep problem breathing, migraine, diabetes, and many autoimmune disorders. So as you see, like there is association. So what's linked to what is the cause? We don't know yet properly. And now let's dive into the connection between ADHD and hypermobility. So the statistics say like 50% of adults with neurodivergent disorder have joint hypermobility, and individuals with EDS have 5 to 6 times more possibility of developing ADHD, which is huge. Like it's a huge overlap between these two conditions. But what are the mechanisms for this link? Some research suggests like pain is one important linking mechanism, because if you are in constant pain all the time, your energy is drained. You have brain fog. You cannot concentrate and you are irritated. You cannot focus on anything. And everybody, like when somebody speaks to you or annoy you, you can of course have an impulsive reaction because you're in so much pain you cannot control your reaction. You're not like calm. like imagine, for example, if somebody touch you normally, they just knocked on your shoulder. If you're in normal cases, it won't cause so much pain. But imagine if you are burned by the sun. You are like the whole day sunbathing without sun cream, for example.
Yeah, it will hurt.
And somebody will touch you on your shoulder, for example. You will scream. You will feel so much pain. So like you can imagine that we are this someone who is like burned by the sun all the time. So the smallest movement, the most smallest touch will cause pain for us. So the second mechanism is dysautonomia. A lot of people with ADS also suffer from dysautonomia, like POTS and many other diseases. Dysautonomia is it's a big term to include all the problem that affect the autonomous nervous system. So it's an umbrella of a lot of terms. We will have a special also session about that. We go all condition one by one and have some recommendation management tips. The third one is proprioceptive difficulties. As we said, for the ADS, since our joints are loose, our muscles are weak, so, and we cannot really control how we move into space.
We don't have the awareness of our body in space. So yeah, our brain is like calculating all the time. Where's my hand? Where's my leg? Where's my, so there's so much energy going and wasted on just like trying to understand where we are in space, and we're never really accurate. So we always fail to really realize where we are exactly. That's why we are clumsy. For example, you're holding a glass and then it drops and breaks. You're trying to open the door and you like hit yourself with your hand. Like just being clumsy overall is a huge sign as well of lack of proprioception. When you're trying to do something and it doesn't feel like you know how to hold something, or even when you write or when you drive, it's very hard.
And we have also a condition called mast cell activation syndrome. Mast cell, those are like
Immune
cells that protect us from any attack, the first line of defense of the body. And how do they do that? By releasing some chemicals or mediators and like histamine. So we struggled, some people also struggle with histamine intolerance. And mast cell impact many part of our bodies, not only one. It also has a spectrum of syndrome. We will talk about it in detail in other
lectures.
In other lecture. But here we just wanted to raise awareness about the conditions that can be connected and linked. And we will so in the future we can have a deeper dive. And the most surprising one that I found it recently is
vision.
Binocular vision dysfunction, which means that we have blurred vision or the double vision. It's because of our ADS. The muscles for the eyes are like lazy or lax. They cannot really move the eyes properly. So
they're slow as well.
And they're slow. So that's why it's very hard for us to focus both eyes on the same thing, because it's so much work for the eyes. That's why we also have tension headaches, and if you touch above your eyes, maybe you can see
around your eyebrows, you might have a lot of tension there.
Tension and the pressure point there.
Yeah, in between your eyebrows and also to the sides of your head. There's a lot of tension there.
Yes. And also one of the main symptoms, which I struggle a lot, like it's very hard for me to read. I don't know where I am while reading. Sometimes I skip line, and then I'm reading something, I'm thinking about something, and then like I always it's very frustrating for me. So this is also a sign of binocular vision, and it also have the same symptom as ADHD. So please be check your eyes.
Yeah.
And all those conditions have overlapping symptoms. So I'm just going to repeat them just to be sure that I haven't forgotten anything and remember. So as we said, fatigue and low energy are common in both. whether it's from physical exhaustion in EDS or mental strain in ADHD, so it's a shared challenge. Both conditions involve impaired focus and attention, like foggy brain, making it hard to stay focused. Attentional dysregulation is another connection with intense or hard to manage emotions being a shared struggle. People with ADHD and EDS often experience restlessness, like difficulty sitting still, either physically or mentally. Sleep disturbance are frequent, leading to further impact on energy and focus. There are also sensory processing issues, heightened sensitivity to sound, texture, light, or other stimulation.
Yeah, when I walk, like for example, if I take a walk at night and there are all these like lamps and lights and other cars and stuff like this, I have like it triggers me so much. So sometimes I wear sunglasses like at night just to like calm down my nervous system. And a lot of people is like, there is no sun. Why are you wearing sunglasses? But really, like, there's so much, from the cars and stuff, and you don't feel it. Maybe you're not aware of it, but you feel irritated, you feel anxious, it's hard to breathe, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, if I put my sunglasses on, I feel a lot calmer, and I enjoy my walk better because I'm not, bombarded with these stimulating, no. Also, I wear noise canceling headphones. They're amazing. If you don't have one, I recommend one. Like when we go, for example, shopping at Lidl, or like at whatever place you go grocery shopping, like it just hurts so much because of also the light and the sound and the people and the cashier sounds with the beeping. That just drives me crazy. So I have like my headphones on, noise cancelling, and then that makes also the whole shopping experience a lot more manageable. So the sensory awareness and being able to understand, and not like before I would think, oh, maybe I'm lazy, that's why I don't want to grocery shop, and it's not because I'm lazy, it's because it's almost traumatizing to go there. So I try to also time it in a time that not too many people go there, and try to manage my symptoms around it now that I have this awareness.
And we already talked about proprioceptive challenges, which means like trouble sensing where our body is in the space, show up in both conditions. This can lead to clumsiness and balance issues. Yeah, I had a very bad balance actually. Once I went to this meditation class, and as a exercise, they told us we need to walk very slowly. So and we need to be aware how the movement of our feet. And actually, I almost fell several times because I was like never really managed to walk slowly or be aware of the way I walk. So then I started to exercise. That was a long time ago, and then I started really pay attention. And once you improve your balance,
it's huge.
It's a huge. Like your symptoms really get reduced. And
what do you believe sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Elizabeth.
What do you believe is the reason that EDS and SPD are related, or sensory processing issues? Is it because of the mast cell activation? So there's too much histamine and that activates? Or what is your theory on that?
It's the nervous system.
Why are EDS and sensory processing linked?
The
nervous
thing
system,
is,
okay.
Yeah, it's the nervous system connection, and that's why it's the first principle in ParaMotion as well. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for us to calm down our nervous system. If I would call something that overlaps with all of these conditions, it's a nervous system disorder, to be honest. Like it's basically the feeling a feeling of your body feels at attack, like there's a bear. Imagine there's a bear and you're running away for your life. That's the feeling. Obviously your sensories are heightened. You're looking for an escape, you're looking for someone to help you, you're looking for a weapon. Like this is the vibe, that's the that's how it feels to do daily tasks for us. Yeah.
Yes. So do you think it's because of the EDS, the nervous system is working overtime?
Exactly.
And that leads to fatigue, which leads to sensory processing? Or what specifically do you mean when you say nervous system?
Yeah,
it's not really the
nervous system.
Yeah. It's not the fatigue. It's your sympathetic nervous that is activated, not the parasympathetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's like your
Okay.
nervous system working at its highest.
Like you have to do
Yes, like
different
fight or flight. Okay.
exactly. So you have two
Got it.
different types of
Yes.
nervous system. One nervous system, it's called sympathetic nervous system, and that's the fight or flight. That's the nervous system that is acting when you have to, when you have to work really hard at something. When you're focusing, you have maybe a presentation, you have something really stressful, really, it turns on when you're like, when the bear is there, it turns on, and then like it gets you. And when it turns on, it gets your sensories to activate. You become hyper vigilant. So that's why also it becomes like that. You feel more, you see more, the lights affect you more because you're hyper vigilant because of the nervous system. So and you have another one called parasympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic nervous system doesn't ever turn on if the sympathetic is on. So it's like on off kind of thing. When the sympathetic is on, that other one is off. When the parasympathetic is on, the sympathetic is off. So they don't turn on at the same time. And the fact that we are stuck in a sympathetic state, fight flight, makes us very rarely, if any time, maybe when we're asleep we manage a little bit, but like if any time we tap into the parasympathetic system. And the parasympathetic system is where your senses are resting, where the tissue is healing, when you are calming, digesting. So if you're not able to access it, you have digestive problem, you have sensory overload, you have, you cannot focus, and you burn out very fast because you're always using your max for little, if you're making coffee, you're using your maximum capacity, you don't have the regulation, you're unable to regulate, and that's the biggest issue.
And the reason for being stuck in the subcortical, the reptilian parasympathetic, what is that? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because I get, like, I also...
Yeah.
As soon as I have thermodysregulation, then everything else is dysregulated.
Exactly.
Then I
there
have
are
auditory
different triggers.
sensitivity, light sensitivity.
So
what is the reason for EDS being stuck in the parasympathetic?
Yeah, so there are different triggers for it.
That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, so there are different triggers for it, and the triggers change. Like, for example, when you have EDS and you are exercising, you're having a good diet, you're calming down your nervous system, then you are able to activate the parasympathetic. And mostly also for EDS, the breath is a huge thing, because we're breathing from our chest. We have lost, maybe with time, and the muscles are stiff, and we lose our ribs. I think for me especially, I see it in a lot of EDS patients, that the ribs are stiff and they don't move. I will talk a little bit soon, actually, in the next slide. I will talk a little bit about the breathing as well, how it impacts, because we need to breathe three-dimensionally. So when we're breathing, we need to have full breath, and we don't have access to full breath. We're not using our ribs to breathe. Then we cannot turn on the parasympathetic. So the breath is like, when you're playing an instrument and you tune it, the breath, your body is the instrument, and you're tuning through the breath. So if you're tuning it on a high pitch, which is the sympathetic, no matter what you play, it's gonna play on that pitch. You need to be able to tune it down and make it to access. So breath is the first step to calming down, and then also when you don't have awareness, when you are hitting things, you are in a stressful situation always. So increasing the awareness, increasing the strength and the muscles, the stability, all of this is part of it.
And also inflammation
as well.
If you have inflammation in your body, nervous system cannot relax.
Yeah.
So you need to reduce the inflammation in your body as well. So it's multifaceted.
It's really complex. And sometimes, for example, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything right, but then October hits. And for me, I'm allergic to cold. My body doesn't regulate. When it's 25 to 35 degrees, my body is like, wow, it's like I installed the software update, and I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. And then when it drops, when it drops below 20, I'm like, back to the old software, really bad.
Yeah, I think this is something also in common between EDS and ADHD, that temperature regulation.
Yeah.
Any temperature change can trigger our symptoms.
It's my worst. My worst. Heat is my worst. Like,
yeah,
I can get it under control with breathing and certain techniques, but like it's my worst. As soon as I get dysregulated, like soon as my thermoregulation problems kick in, then everything else goes haywire.
But if you have
And when I
problem
go for physio, they always like punch me in the ribs jokingly and say, "You're not breathing. You're not using your whole body."
Yeah,
So
but
yes,
it's true.
I
Sometimes these
identify.
triggers, like for example, for me, when I have these triggers, so you have it when it's too hot, I have it when it's too cold, but I think it's similar. Yeah, in that moment, even when I'm exercising, I don't have access. I lost access to my body almost. So I do need
Yep.
to, in that case, turn into medication. So I do take a lot of different supplements. I take also H1 blocker, which is an antihistamine, and it helps a lot, especially with the breathing, because when your nose is clogged, when the breathing is out of the window, that's the first thing you need to fix, because you cannot like go and train and like fix your muscles and carry weight if you're not breathing properly. You cannot, it's just not possible. So sometimes you do need to have your tools, your management kit of supplements and medications that you, in case of triggers, that for example, you're gonna get triggered because something is happening, or like so you can take precautions. You can take double dose. You can adjust accordingly, because the trigger can come at any time, and then everything you're doing is out of the window. So especially also, we talked about PMDD last time, also your period, if you're female.
We are allergic to hormonal change anyway.
Hormonal change also can trigger something. Yeah.
ADHD, it's sensitive to hormonal change, and EDS as well. But I just wanted to just to highlight that if you have a problem with high temperature, and do you have problems also, like do you feel like lightheaded when you stand up?
Yes.
POTS.
Yeah, you have POTS.
I'm used to it though. I've had it since I was little.
Then you need to read more about POTS.
Say again?
Have you heard what POTS? POTS?
Yes, I've got POTS.
You've got POTS.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the problem.
Yes.
For that you cannot handle high temperatures.
Yeah, but I think antihistamine would help.
Really?
Yes.
That I didn't know.
Yes, this is one of the main things. POTS, if you have it, yeah.
And it's a common comorbidity as well.
Very common comorbidities with EDS.
Yes.
We will talk about it also.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Tell me
goodness.
more.
Yes, POTS, it's huge. It's huge. But I think antihistamine even helps my POTS symptoms sometimes.
Yeah, it helps. And also because you need to do exercises to pump the blood from your feet up.
Yes, because and wearing compression socks can help, but if it's already hot. But yeah, I mean, wearing compression garments can help as well, because when you have POTS, your blood is not circulating well enough in your body, and obviously gravity. What is gravity doing? It's taking the blood down. So you have a lot of blood in your calf muscles that is not pumping up, and then this kind of deregulation of pumping is causing a lot of POTS as well. So if you do some exercises, there are some classes specific for POTS. Flares. It's called the flare, when everything goes out of hand. So there are also specific exercises you can do for that, and also specific things that you can wear. You can also take some supplements or medication to help with that.
Yeah, so we will have also one
Yeah.
lecture about it. We have so many things to talk
It's
about.
like the tip of the iceberg,
it's like really,
Yeah.
it's a sea of information
Yeah.
out there.
It's infinite.
It's infinite. So now let's go back to the slides. So we have some
Anxiety, depression. We talked about executive function impairment, social challenges, of course.
Yeah, we talked about this
Yeah.
before. So yeah, we
We
can
keep going.
keep going.
All right.
Yeah, and for social challenges as well.
Yeah.
Like for example, if you go to a crowded places, sometimes you have anxiety.
Yeah, grocery shopping.
Yeah, like even
Yeah, even a bar, club,
or whatever,
or
because
whatever.
you get overstimulated and you get flares. And also it's also related to the vision things. There's so many things to focus on. It triggers your anxiety because your eyes cannot focus properly.
Exactly. There's so much, so we wanted to make it a bit light today, but obviously we're gonna do bi-weekly events, so you're always welcome. If you want a specific topic to come up sooner than on other topics, please write to me on Twitter or anywhere, or just talk to me on Discord or whatever. or right now in the chat, like this is the topic I want to be next, and then we can prioritize it, because like Maya said, it's infinite, and we really wanna tap into all the topics you guys wanna learn about. So let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Awesome. All right. So, what have we learned so far? A lot. We have learned now the connection between ADHD, EDS, even POTS now, and mast cell activation syndrome, which actually is an autoimmune. We learned about the vision impairment issues. I have very strong vision. Like my vision, when I go to the doctor, I say I have problems. I have these headaches and stuff. Oh, your eyes, you must have weak vision. I go and he says no, your vision is fine, it's 11/10. I think now it's much less because I haven't been in a while, but a lot of these health professionals, they're not educated in these specific rare conditions. So yeah, I now need to actually go find someone who understands the vision issues that are related to EDS, and maybe get different glasses, because like we said, the eyes, they don't move together, they are a bit delayed, and this kind of, imagine your brain is getting information that is like a little bit delayed and not in sync with each other. Imagine how much effort and work that's causing. So, and that's obviously relating to ADHD as well. So yeah, we need to work really hard to kind of understand our condition, and understand it from a perspective that we need to find the right solution for the right issue, and find the root cause as well, not just have you cannot escape learning about it, and you need to also manage one thing at a time. It might feel overwhelming, but with the right help and you can really improve a lot. So there is hope here. Even though sometimes it sounds like what, but there is hope, and you can improve a lot. I promise. So traditionally, how ADHD is being managed today by health professionals. I don't know if any of you has already ADHD diagnosis, has gone through the medical system. The traditional way, maybe you're already familiar with it, is actually through medication. So you have different types of medication: stimulant medication and non-stimulant medications. So, for example, let's say you have EDS and you go and you're diagnosed with ADHD, but nobody diagnoses you with EDS or MCAS or mast cell. So then you go to the doctor, they give you the ADHD medication, and most likely you will get a stimulant drug. A stimulant drug, what does the stimulant drug do? It actually activates your nervous system, and it actually flares you. It makes your EDS symptoms worse. It makes your mast cell worse. It releases histamine. So even though maybe you're able to maybe focus a little bit better, the depression is it's a little bit easier to motivate to do things, but at what cost, right? We're still making the other conditions a lot worse. And then if you go towards the non-stimulant drugs route, you might find some help there, but also we don't know the long-term impact of these medications. They're not studied, especially on women. There aren't a lot of study with the hormonal fluctuation there. So, and even if you find the right medication and it does help you, there is zero proof that it helps you 100% of the symptoms. Maximum it can do 60%. So you still have 40% that you have to self-manage, that you have to do, and that's if you're lucky, if you found the right medication and it doesn't cause a lot of severe side effects. So this type of traditional way, it has high risk, low reward, in my opinion. So we need other ways. We need to find other ways to fix this. Another thing that traditionally is done, you get CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Many of us have done, I think. I have done it personally. Am I speaking too fast? No? Slow down?
Yes.
Yes.
Breathe. Okay. Okay, I'm just throwing words at you guys. Okay, I will slow down. But you
Anyway,
understand.
I'm going to take a moment here.
Tell me.
want to take a moment here to say what a wonderful thing is to see two sisters working together and making gold out of their pain.
Exactly.
Gold
Thank you.
in
Thank you so much.
parentheses.
That's sweet. Thank you.
Continue.
All right. Thank you, Luti. That's very sweet. We try our best.
Exactly.
I think because we can relate
We can
to,
see.
yeah, we can relate to the pain and the struggle, the frustration of like really not finding the right help, not finding any answers, and feeling really stuck. So we just want to like we have the passion to help others who feel stuck and feel like okay, there is hope, there is something we can do with this. You know, it's not just we have to live like this. Mm.
So you were talking about psychological interventions?
Yes, exactly. Okay, I slow down, take a breath. Parasympathetics, nervous system on, please.
Yes, slowly.
Slowly. So, with the psychological interventions, CBT is helpful. I have done it. I think maybe some of you have experience with it. You can share it with us as well if you'd like. It helps to a certain degree, specifically with like impulsive thoughts, which we get a lot with ADHD, impulsivity, trying to calm down, like before making decisions, decision makings, or organization. Maybe you start learning a way to organize your day, you organize your structure, your goals, so that you are less stressed in general. But obviously, this is just a fraction of the help that we need to get. I think it's always good. I think it's good to do this for sure. But also understand it's a fraction of the whole puzzle, and we still need a lot of other tools to help us. Lifestyle modification, I think, also links back to psychological interventions that helps you actually achieve lifestyle modifications to adjust to your conditions, whether it's ADHD, EDS, or the combination of all the cocktail of conditions that we presented today. Like we said, diet is a huge thing. Exercise is huge. Organization, trying to be more organized with deadlines. ADHD, I always say for my brain, like I need a deadline and a reward. If I don't have a deadline, I don't have a reward, there is no motivation. It's not gonna happen. So I even sometimes artificially make these deadlines for myself, artificially make these rewards, whatever it is, eat ice cream, something, chocolate cake, whatever, like just have something, or for example, I have a deadline, like in 10 days I have to submit something. I give myself a deadline 8 days. If I do it in 8 days, for 2 days I can do whatever I want. I don't need to do anything, like something like this, or go hiking, or go swimming, or something that really motivates you, something that you love, that you're passionate about. You say, okay, I do this and then I get this. That's
It's like
very
you
important.
need like to gentle parent yourself.
Exactly, gentle parenting. So lifestyle modifications is a huge thing. I think the main struggle would be here, if I'm gonna talk about the struggle, is that maybe you don't understand which diet, you don't understand which type of exercise. I have done so many different types of exercise. I have done functional strength training, weight training. I have done all types of yoga. I have done, yin yoga, vinyasa, you name it, whatever yoga I have done it. And then ashtanga, all of it, and then I have done also boxing. Now thinking back, was not a good taekwondo. That was, I was like thinking, wow, everybody's saying, look at your hips, you can really kick, really high, and your like hips almost get out of place, as if it's a good thing. Oh my god. Anyway, so I've obviously had hip issues, hip injuries, knees, and I didn't know.
Shoulders.
I didn't know what was going on. I really didn't know. So now that I know better, I do better, obviously. So I think a lot of us, think, oh, okay, if we exercise, then we should feel better. And then you exercise, but not the right type of exercise, you feel worse. Then that demotivates you. You think, I don't want to exercise anymore. Maybe it traumatizes you even from exercise. And that's not good for us. We need to feel good in our exercise programs. We need to feel rewarded, like I said. We need to feel that we're moving into the right direction, that we are actually improving our proprioception, we're improving our nervous system, we're improving our feeling in our body, which just feels better to exist in our body. Our body is our home. It's the most important home. We are born with it. We leave this earth when this body also leaves us. So this is our number one home, and it has to feel good. If it doesn't feel good in our home, in our bodies, it's hard to feel good anywhere else.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something, but then I forgot.
ADHD. If you remember, tell us.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say something. One thing. It's a different idea, but yeah.
Tell me.
ADHD is not only a bad thing, you know. We also have some strength.
True.
We have some very good skills that we can count on. So it's not only about looking at
hyper focus. Yes, exactly.
Like looking at what's not working for us and feeling demotivated. We need also to appreciate the skills that we have. Like we think differently. We think outside of the box. We are very creative, and we need to like control what we have and like what we can control, you know, and things that we cannot control, we need to adapt and accept it as it is. I'm just gonna say like we also need to focus and appreciate our strength, and that will give us more motivation and like some positive reinforcement, you know. And now I remember the other thing that I wanted to share. I wanted to share that when we go to exercise, when I started exercise, nobody tells you anything about your body. You don't learn about your body. You don't get aware of your specific needs. And I think we're lacking the manual. Like I think we're all driving a car without knowing how to drive properly, and without knowing the car properly, right?
Yeah.
So I think just take this step back and come back to our body, feeling how it feels and understanding how it should function and how it should like move properly. That's very lacking in our fitness industry. It's just about the movement and when you can do, but it's not about how it feels, not about which muscle really need to be activated, and not about your specific need and how you feel in your body.
Actually, it's a glamorizing pain, because when I go to the gym and then I destroy my body and I go and I can barely walk, everybody's clapping for me, you know, and saying, oh, no pain, no gain. That's why I actually changed it on our website. If you go to ParaMotion.org, you see less pain, more gain, not more pain. You know, pain is not always a good sign, and there are different types of pain. But like nerve pain, for example, how is that a good sign that I am working out? You know, I shouldn't have nerve pain, I shouldn't have tingling, I shouldn't have this feeling that I cannot function the day after my workout. Obviously I have to function still. I need to build up slowly. There's something called tissue tolerance. You need to build up the tissue tolerance slowly so that you're not attacking your body. You're gently, gradually reaching higher and higher levels of strength and stability. So the industry actually is done in a very toxic way. And this way for a normal person, or we are normal, but for a person who is not neurotypical or like people who are not really struggling as much as us, maybe when it comes to these conditions, I think it's still even toxic for them. I see them doing push-ups, for example. I look at their necks is forward. I look at their shoulders. I look at their, pelvis is tilted. Like everything is wrong. What are you strengthening? What are you strengthening? You do 50 push-ups like this, you might have a neck injury. It's not about doing 100 push-ups if you do it wrong. There's no point. There's absolutely no point.
Yeah.
So, and then for us, you add to the fact that we have a neck that goes outside of its place. We have a jaw that is very crude at creating also outside of the place. We have ribs that can flare. We have also, so you add this another layer, it becomes for us even more important and very, very, very important that we do the workout that feels good, no pain, and we'd reduce the overall chronic pain that we have. If you go to work out and you feel your chronic pain is getting worse, you're getting more injured, you're even, not getting stronger, something is wrong.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, when we move, for example, when we have not perfect, like how do you say it? It's not like perfect, there's no perfect posture, but we're not moving optimally, and we go to exercise with this misalignment in our body. So we're overusing the already overused muscle, and we're not using the muscle that we already not activated in our movement. So that's why always now I understand in exercise you need to go and like you need to reset your body, you know, your alignment. You need to go back to realign your body and then for your whole muscle to work together. As you said, like if for example you have predominant hand or arm, and you always when you go exercise you always use your right arm more than the left one. Of course, the
Imbalance will increase.
the imbalance will increase.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to be aware of our imbalances,
Mm-hmm.
fix them, and then go harder. So that's why we need always to start gentle and then slowly build up to to be aware of these imbalances, fix them, and then go with our body as a whole, not to increase the pain and the imbalances.
Yeah. And like you said, there are positive things. I can say from hypermobility perspective, a lot of people with hypermobility look 10 years younger, you guys, 10 years younger. So you will look younger, that's one thing, because you have a delay. You do have delay in processing, you have delay in your, in your muscles and your reactions, but you also have a delay in aging. So that's a good thing, out of this whole thing. You will look young longer.
Yeah, people struggle a lot to look younger. So we struggle already and we have this as a plus.
Yes. And there are positive things also with ADHD, and I have both. I have ADHD, autism as well, because it's a cocktail. But because of this, I am able to actually be creative in different ways. Like I have my brain chemistry is different, that's one. And then I also have different areas in my brain communicating that wouldn't normally communicate. And that allows me to be a musician, to be a DJ and an artist. And it allows me to be a scientist. It allows me to be who I am. To a certain degree, I am without the condition. Sometimes, who am I without all of these conditions? Because it really impacts you on a cellular level. It is who you are on some level. So there is beauty in it because we are all beautiful and we have a lot of things to give, and we have creative skills, and with the way we see the world is very special, and our perspective is very special. So we have a lot to bring to the table, just to make it a bit more positive. I know we were talking about the symptoms. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, but yeah, he's saying Luti has a delay in audio. It counts. Yes, it counts.
Yes, I have it too.
Maya has it.
Because Ines sometimes talk to me and I say what? And then when she's in the middle of repeating her sentence, my brain understands what she already said. I'm like, yeah, I understand. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, give me some time to process.
Yeah. It's funny because like we both have ADHD and autism. My sister is more ADHD, and I am more autistic. So her ADHD triggers my autism, and my autism triggers her ADHD. So we get a little bit sometimes, just our brains just to work really differently, even though genetically we're like sisters. So it can really look different. But auditory processing is definitely associated with ADHD, and we have a delay. It's actually for the people who really want to dig deeper into this, it's a cellular delay on like electricity level. So it impacts neurological symptoms, even digestive symptoms, like everything. The eyes, we talked about the delay in vision as well. So the delay is really on a cellular level that is like compounded and made into all of our systems once you start understanding the condition more deeply. But that's for another day. That nerdy stuff for another day. Let's
Yeah, just
wow, already, yeah.
Talking for a long time, guys.
We've been talking for a while, you guys. So this is all links back to ParaMotion, right? That's like the whole thing that we are building right now, is to create this movement program that aligns with the needs for people like us. So you don't have to go to boxing and break your hip, or to like go to taekwondo, or you don't have to go to yoga and have pain in your wrists and you don't know why. You don't have to. So somebody has already did the filtering for you. We have filtered the best exercises from yoga, Pilates, functional strength training, stability work, mobility work, all of the stuff. We just put it in a way that works for us, and handpicking the exercises that works the best for us, and applying these principles. So I will repeat them again. We have 4 principles for our movement program, And I have a surprise for you. I have already recorded a class that we will do together now in a few minutes, from the Mediterranean in Malta. So you get to see me in my happy place, and we can do a calming, relaxing exercise applying the first principle of ParaMotion in a few minutes. So what's the first? The first one is parasympathetic activation. Like we talked about, we're stuck in fight or flight. We need to get into our parasympathetic system, and you will see how it's gonna feel after the class. We will do 10 minutes. Don't worry, it's not very long. 10 minutes, you will see how it will feel much calmer, much nicer afterwards. These small, slow movements, cueing the movement where it's gonna come from is very important. And then from there, we start building proprioception. How do we build proprioception? We need to change the circuits in our brain. We need to build new brain mapping skills, basically, to be able to build these pathways that create more awareness. And this is possible to do at any age. This is so great that humans are able to do this. If we did not have neuroplasticity, you guys, we're screwed even more than this, honestly. But the fact that we have neuroplasticity, we can still build new patterns and new ways of, new pathways into our brain. That makes us able to work on these skills and build better proprioception. From there, now we have the activation parasympathetic. We're aware of our body in space. We have proprioception. Then we can start building functional strength and stability. Targeting different joints, specifically shoulder joints. For a lot of people, we have forward head posture, for example, rounded shoulders. We have posteriorly or anteriorly tilted pelvis. It's very common, these things. I see them in the EDS body, very common. So we need to target each one. We target the neck, we target the shoulder, we target the pelvis, we target even the feet. We have a lot of people have flat feet. They think, oh, I'm born this way. It's actually a sign of EDS as well, and it's mostly collapsed feet. It's if we're gonna talk into the biomechanics.
We will talk about it in the future for sure.
Yeah, I think we will not finish today. So yeah, so there's a lot to work there, and also being able to take this exercise off the mat. It's not like, okay, I go to the gym 1 hour, I get out of the gym, I get back into my old habits, as if all of the exercise was for nothing. No, we need to build this skill. We need to learn how to squat, how to do daily activities that we can take off the mat and do them every day. And eventually we reach a level which is the integrated body flow. Now you have the awareness, you have the activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, you have the muscle strength and stability of the joint, and now you can really flow. You can really feel like you're in a flow, and your body is working with you, not against you. You feel like a whole, not a segmented part, and you can breathe optimally. Your body reaches a level of functioning that is optimal, and you will have reduced pain and all of these things. So, and from there, obviously, you can build bigger pattern movements, more complex movements, and you can really start to dig into more challenging workouts. So yeah, this is basically the principles for ParaMotion. If you want to read more, you can go to our blogs as well, paramotion.org/blogs. Yes, and from here I think we can open up for some questions, if you have any, before we do the workout, the class that I have prepared for you guys. Open floor.
I just want to say that what you all do is fantastic. You sisters coming together to share this information is powerful, and it's very educational. And I'm just amazed at the amount of information that you all have shared, and it's so clear and understandable.
Thank you so much.
That's
So
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for simplifying these things for me.
We try our best.
We try our best. I'm glad it can reach you guys and that you find it simple. That's amazing. That means we're succeeding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Definitely succeeding. Hello, you beautiful souls. I just have to say thank you for this space. Thank you for caring enough to share your healing resources and toolkits because, oftentimes we live in a silo of our pain and it is shunned to talk about it. So thank you for letting us come together, be able to discuss the things that we have going on, grow our knowledge, and heal all together. Definitely beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, LM Designs. Thank you for your art as well. We have it actually set up here. I will show you in a tour in a bit. But thank you so much for coming and for your kind words. We do live in silos, it's true, and community is a huge part to be able to connect with each other. We feel each other's pain, we relate, and we try to share our tips and knowledge, and get ourselves a family.
Exactly. Community is so important to deal with all this problem and like feel like connected also, regardless, even with our pain. When you feel connected, you feel better.
Relate, you feel understood, you feel seen. Awesome. Anyone else?
I wanted to understand more about the mindset that someone must have, that someone with condition. But maybe this is subject for another. Like I wanted to understand, like if I have this, how, what I must think. I must think myself like a sick person. I must think that I am healthy and I'm just going through something.
Okay, I understand what you mean.
That's a very good point, actually. The mindset is
Something
huge.
like this.
Yeah, I think we definitely can make actually a mindset workshop as well in episode. For me, I think of myself as a special person more than a sick person. Obviously, you have to admit to a certain degree your body is struggling, and the way that we live our lives today, sitting on computer all day, our food is not the best quality. We buy things, we don't know what we're eating, so that's also contributing to our health. Even if you didn't have these conditions, also it's now a lot of people are having more issues because of the way that we live, that it doesn't really suit us. So we need to admit reality to a certain degree, but also see it from a positive mindset that really shows you that everybody struggles. Everybody has their own type of struggle. But at least I can define my struggle, I understand my struggle, and I can make my life better and then connect with people who have similar struggles and make their life better. Nobody has a perfect life. Nobody has 100% nothing wrong with them. It's part of life, and the more we understand, the more we try to find solutions and connect and feel better in our bodies. The world will heal also, and the world will feel better.
And I want to share that something really helped me. Like, think of yourself, or like treat yourself as somebody that you love and you care for. For example, if somebody you really love, your kid or whatever, come to you with the same struggles, what would you tell them? Because sometimes we're much harsher on ourselves than the people that we love. So we need sometimes to filter what we want to see and think to ourselves as we think about them and how we wish them to think about themselves. I hope this helps.
I see. Yeah. Let's talk about this on the next season.
Yeah, we can go more in details and
Yeah,
talk
actually,
about coping and trauma and all the stuff, because the way with what we feel, we can also have the vocabulary for it, right? Because we have medical trauma, we have stress, we have anxiety, we have depression, we have like so many words that we can use to describe our state, and we can share tips to deal with each one of them and how to improve this. I think this is a very good question, Lottie. Thank you.
yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna do an episode. Yeah, we're gonna do an episode about this for sure. Maybe it's the next episode because it's a Christmas episode, so it can be less information, maybe technical information, more mindset.
Yes.
We can also share some TikToks, maybe do a TikTok collection of other people who are struggling with
memes.
this, and memes, make it a bit funny as well, and watch together. So, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
stay tuned for the next one in 2 weeks, you guys. So it's bi-weekly, don't forget. All right, so who's ready for a 10-minute workout? I hope everybody. That's actually in Malta, one of my favorite places, and it's called Exiles Beach. So I recorded this for you with some piano music in the background just to calm you down. I will be doing it as well myself. Just 10 minutes. So if you have a mat, you can lay down on the floor now,
Or on bed.
or on your bed if you have a bed somewhere near you. So when everybody is laid down with knees bent, tell me so we can start the class when everybody's ready. You can clap or something, say something.
Maybe they'll be far away from the computer.
Ah, that's true. All right, good, good. Okay, I'll give you just a minute so everybody is ready for this. Awesome. Great. Great. Perfect. All right. So we don't do the breathing.
Isn't it included? Okay, now.
Okay, so I'll start now setting up the mood before I play the video. Just a breathing exercise, very short. We just want to, if you put your hands, one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and you try to think that you're gonna breathe in a segmented way, just to introduce to your body, to your brain, that the breath is not just from the chest. So if we use this method, it's called 1-2-3 method, very basic. We breathe from our chest. Our chest is number one. So we breathe in with the chest first, and then the lower ribs, the back ribs that are touching the ground, they will expand at 2. So we breathe in with the chest first, and then the ribs expand on the floor, and then the belly expands forward. That's 3. And then when we're breathing out, it's the opposite. So the belly comes back in, and then the ribs come back in, and then the chest goes down. So it's 3, 2, 1. Okay? So we breathe in, chest first, ribs, belly, belly, ribs, chest. Let's do this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. I'll give you 2 breaths. You do it at your own pace. Awesome. So now you're ready for the class. Let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to this class of ParaMotion EDS movement therapy. We're gonna start laying down on the floor with knees bent. We're gonna take 3 breaths here. Inhale, exhale, just to come back into the room and feel our bones melting on the floor. Just come back to the present moment. 1 more breath. And from here, we're gonna start rolling our pelvis to wake it up and release tension around the pelvis. So we're gonna move the pelvis forward and backwards. So the lumbar spine is gonna go away from the floor when we're moving forward, and then it's gonna come back and rest on the floor as we move back. When the lumbar is away from the floor and creating a gap, that's an anterior tilt. And when it comes back, it's a posterior tilt. A neutral pelvis is somewhere in between. So let's do 5 times and then rest the pelvis in a neutral position where it feels comfortable. Perfect. From here, we're gonna start rolling the pelvis. We're gonna roll from forward and then right, and then back, and then left. We do this 3 times. Forward, right, back, left. Forward, right, back, left. If you can do this in a circular motion, it's very good. Let's try the other side. So forward, left, back, right. Forward, left, back, right. Forward, left, back, right. Perfect. Now we can raise our knees towards our chest and just roll our ankles and feet 5 times to each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once we've done both times, now we can point the foot forward and backwards, forward and backwards, also for 5 times, just to activate the ankles and wake them up. We can do the other leg, rolling the feet, the ankle. Make sure you're moving from the ankle, one side 5 times, and the other. Then forward and backwards 5 times. Point the foot, bring it back. Point the foot, bring it back. Very good. From here, we're gonna go into a bridge. It's very important here that we push the feet down, which will lift the pelvis up. So we're not really lifting the pelvis here, the feet are lifting the pelvis. There's a connection, and then we come back slowly. You don't have to go very high for this one since this is a beginner class. So just go up a few inches. And what's important is just to focus that your feet are the ones pushing the pelvis off the floor. Activate the glutes, activate the hamstrings, but don't squeeze, don't push. Just use your feet. Expand your feet into the floor, and then just when you use them and the pelvis has to go up, it will go up. And then come back slowly. It's very important to come slowly back and not to just collapse on the floor. So push the feet into the floor, expand the feet, the pelvis will go up. Keep on breathing. Make sure you don't have tension around your neck, around your shoulders. Your jaw is relaxed. So we hold the hands high above us, and then we just expand the chest and then bring the arms back. So the arms are moving from the chest. They're not segmented. They're not moving from the wrist or the elbow. You're moving from the upper back muscles by expanding the chest. So if you feel the chest muscles are shaky a little bit, it's a good sign, because it means that you're activating those muscles. As long as it doesn't hurt, as long as it's comfortable, just keep going. If you don't have to go as far as I go, you can go in a shorter range if that's more comfortable for you. Make sure you're breathing, and then reverse the hands, and then do swimmer arms. One arm up, one arm down. We do this 5 times. Feel the scapula, the shoulder blades moving. Your arms are moving from your torso. They're not moving from the elbow. Make sure there's no tension in the arms. And breathe. Let's keep going. One more. Feel your lower ribs on the floor. Feel your pelvis heavy. Make sure everything else is quiet, no tension. And then we bring the arms down slowly, moving from the collarbone. So as the arms go up, then we roll the arm bones, we roll the collarbones and bring them down. This movement is not coming from the elbow as well. So just turn your collarbones and the elbows will have to come down. And then go up from the upper back. Very good. Collarbones open, chest open, elbows come down. Then we bring the arms back up. Now bring the arms down. And we're going to turn to the side. Push with our hand on the floor to come back up. From here, we're going to move into a quadruped or table 4 position. So we're going to have our wrists under our shoulders, our knees under our pelvis. Make sure you're not putting too much weight on the wrists, that you are not locking your elbow. You should feel the weight on the heels of your hands. And from there, roll the pelvis in, roll the spine in a cat. Keep breathing, and then slowly roll the pelvis forward, just like we were doing before, and then roll the spine in a cow. You don't have to go too far here. Just do it in a way that is not painful. So then roll the pelvis posteriorly, like we learned earlier, putting everything we learned together. And then roll the upper back, the thoracic spine. It will respond to the pelvis. The pelvis is the engine here. It's controlling our spine. So when we roll the pelvis, we will just feel the spine rolling one by one, responding, ending with the head comes back at the end. We do this a few more times. Move the pelvis, then the thoracic spine. And then the pelvis goes back, and the thoracic spine goes back into a cow position. One last time, we go into a cat, so the pelvis posteriorly tilts, the thoracic spine follows, and from here, we push ourselves back into a child pose. Thank you so much for taking this class with me, and see you soon. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, we want more.
That was so relaxing. That was relaxing.
Amazing. I'm super happy you guys liked it.
Yes.
Do you have any more feedback? How does it feel?
I pulled my chair to the side and I was doing it on the floor.
Ah, awesome. Was it difficult?
No, it wasn't difficult. It was actually very, very relaxing. I enjoyed the movement. So.
That's great. That's awesome.
Now I want to relax and take a nap.
When I was doing the swimmer, how did you say?
Swimmer arms?
The thing with the hands. Yes, this one, I felt a pain.
Yeah, where did you feel it?
Inside my shoulder. I had an accident with my bike. But I never hurt. I never hurt again there. Fuck it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I understand.
Yeah. But now that I did this exercise, I felt the pain, and I remind
Okay, because I think you haven't fully, healed. Maybe you compensated in some ways that you don't feel the pain.
recover.
So you compensated, maybe you don't go into that area, but if you compensate in the shoulders, it obviously will impact you because you still have to reintroduce movement. But obviously, it shouldn't be painful. So if you feel pain, then you need to reduce maybe the range. Maybe don't go as far down. Try to find a range that is shorter. And also, when you're doing
Yeah.
it, maybe make sure that your spine is aligned on the floor. For example, the lower ribs are in and touching the back. The pelvis is heavy. I will do more exercise. Actually,
I felt pain during I had my hand all the way up, and during I was pushing to bring it in front, like because of the
yeah.
gravity, maybe.
Okay. So don't go as down, as
Like,
low. Don't go as low. Go like you just go to a range that doesn't feel pain, and then you can slowly expand back into the original pain. Maybe now that you have the shoulder issue, your range has shortened. So meet your range where you're at. Don't try to expand it so much. So when you're moving from the shoulders, the collarbones are supposed to expand, and then you come down with the elbows, but the elbows, you're not
mm,
pushing the elbows down too much. So if you expand a little bit down, and don't go so far down, even if it's just a few inches, and then come back up. Just, it's important not to feel pain, and then slowly, the more you do it, you can do it maybe a little bit lower and lower and lower until
Gradual.
you gradual, until you reintroduce the entire range again.
You know,
see, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you mentioned. I'm glad you mentioned isolating at the shoulders because sometimes I don't do that, and
Yeah,
so focusing and concentrating on just moving at the shoulders makes a difference.
exactly, exactly. And some people, not able to separate, like, they're not aware of their shoulders as like one entity. Sometimes some people have awareness, they think they're moving their shoulders, but they're actually moving their everything, the neck and the ribs, and everything becomes like some kind of a mess. So it's important
Yeah,
to learn to isolate, and also we know, just like, if we cannot separate too much, reduce range. Range, if you do 50% less range, is still good, because if you isolate, you're still introducing the right movement. If you don't isolate, maybe then you're introducing different patterns that are not very helpful.
And also, if you feel pain,
Mm,
then your nervous system will get triggered.
exactly.
So I will get you out of your relaxed mood,
Mm,
and we don't want that.
no,
We
no.
want you to stay in the relaxed
Mm,
mood, and like to build this awareness and connection with your body. And slowly, it's like everything is gradual.
yeah.
So it will be one step at a time.
yes, yes, exactly. And this class is available on ParaMotion YouTube channel, so you can just go click on it whenever you feel like it and practice it. You can also write me questions if you have more pain, or like you have any, if you want to adjust also like, if you feel like, okay, there is one thing right now, it gives me pain, skip it. Don't do that one. Do the other arm stuff, for example, and then come back to it later when you have better flexibility there, better awareness there. Then you can come back and try the exercise later. So yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I will make more videos like that, and I might make like 3 minute videos as well, where I explain just one exercise, like how it should feel in the body, what muscles you should use. So also that will help people. For example, if they immediately come in and do this 10 minutes, maybe they don't know how to move the arms from the shoulders, like we talked about. So maybe they can go tap into the 3 minute video, remember how it is, and then come back here and do this entire class.
We love this. Thank you so much. I definitely have to say for my shoulders, I have to take a scarf and do the over all the way back, all the way to the front, which I know for the people who aren't hyper flexible in your shoulders, that probably sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
that has helped a lot with my pain. And this movement, easing into my day, has been the best way for me to say, okay, which areas do I want to work on today? So thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Awesome. Anyone else wants to share before we move to some music?
Or anybody has any question?
Or any questions? It can be questions about the lecture today or anything like that.
Not really.
No? Lisbeth, how did you feel the class went for you? If you're able to talk. Sore.
Lisbeth,
Yeah, she's
Yes.
How are you feeling?
No comment.
you fell asleep.
Too
I
relaxing.
answered in the chat. It's full for me. My range of movement is not good. So it's for me very full.
Okay.
I have to under extend compared to what you were doing significantly.
Okay. But if you did that and shortened the range, then it was easier, or?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, you can always come back and then build up towards that. I will have more classes as well. If you guys want specific classes for like specific joints, specific thing, like for example, shoulder, luti, what you were talking about, I can do like a small class about that. Yeah, just write to me. Tell me what you guys want. I'll add it to the YouTube channel. You can go back there anytime. I'll make it short. I'll make it easy. I mean, obviously, this class could have been a 20 minutes class, could have been a 30 minutes class, but we want to also start slow and start gentle. And these 10 minutes, maybe you would look at the class, somebody would look at, this is, super easy. But then when you start really trying to do the movement right and to move from the right place, then it can get really challenging. So it's good to build up slowly and do, even if you do 10 minutes every day, even if you do 5, it's still something. And then you build from there slowly and gradually.
And especially for us, since we have delayed reaction to everything. So also when we exercise, we don't feel the pain or the soreness very fast. We will feel it a bit delayed. So that's why sometimes we can go a bit too much, and we can exercise a bit too hard. So that's why it's always better so to have a short movement, because after a while we understand how we feel properly. So and just to understand and build this routine and increase slowly by slow.
Yeah, I really recommend to start with small exercises like this. Like if you want for the next 2 weeks, to do the breathing exercises I showed, just to introduce this movement. I don't know if you guys have told me what you think about it. The breathing exercise that you did, the chest first and then the ribs and the belly, did that feel weird? Did that feel new to you, or was it you felt like you got that under control? If anybody can share.
I can share for me first.
Yeah.
I can say, because when we started this,
Yeah.
I didn't understand what it means, and especially since I did not have awareness about my ribs. Like when somebody tells me put your ribs on the ground, I didn't understand. And so I think even if you cannot do things properly right now, it's okay, because this is an introduction, and with time, and like after doing the exercise many times, and then some things click in my brain and my body. That's what it means. Okay, that's how it's supposed to feel. So things will take time. So just I want you please to be patient with yourself and give yourself the time that you need, and also adjust the range of the movement as you want. And it doesn't mean that somebody does it better, or like somebody with bigger movement is better, it doesn't matter. What really matters, that you're building this awareness of your body with yourself, and slowly, okay, this is my limit today, but at least now I know. And slowly build this.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. Anybody wants to share how the breathing exercise was for them?
I was gonna say, I just had to say, it's the space and grace part. Like, give yourself space and grace, because today's body that you're in might not match tomorrow's body, or it might be more flexible next week. But definitely, I love the breathing part. For me, I always start off with intentional breathings just to start my day, my gratitudes and my breathing. If I can get that under control, I know that I can manage my pain, manage my muscle spasms, manage everything. So I truly appreciated it. And I know that I think that perhaps because we're inside of such an immersive space like this, if, if you did just recorded your body doing it, doing the animation so people could get a visual of it, would be phenomenal in future. Just something, because it's amazing, because they'll react to the animations. And like inside of my infinite breath world, every orb that is there is doing the 4-7-8 breathing technique so that people can just breathe with the animations, and people are like, oh, I get it, because when you're saying it, it's one thing, but when I can see it, because a lot of us are visual too. So but for me, the breathing was what I needed, so thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Were you able also to access your ribs and your belly, and you could feel this 1, 2, 3 motion in your entire body?
It is the visualization. And like for me, when you're like, okay, focus on the rib part, focus on it, it helps me to connect and make that area of my body. But then again, I mean, I come from movement. I've been dancing since I was 4.
Oh,
so for me,
wow.
I'm like, okay, tell me which activate.
That's
It's
amazing.
a treat for me.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. Dancers have the best body awareness. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much, LM Design, for sharing. Anybody else wants to share? I'm really curious about the breathing exercise. If Mata coach, you want to say something, or Luti, Lisbeth, just how it felt in your body to breathe 3-dimensionally in this way.
To me, it felt very relaxing, and then I didn't realize I had a little stress this morning. But once I started the breathing exercises, I felt the stress kind of go from my body. So it was kind of like an awareness type thing.
Amazing. That's amazing. Good. Yeah, Lisbeth saying she often forgets the chest, so it was a good reminder. Amazing. Okay, I will not ask you for more things now. Maybe you're too relaxed. I can feel everybody's so relaxed now. Okay, let's get you guys a little bit more moving. Let's dance to ParaMotion theme song. Let's go. You can feel free to move around to dance. If you want to see the art as well, you can follow me while the music's playing. I will go there and show it. It's actually near the white mountain, the snow mountain, white beach. So yeah, let's go. We welcome you in open arms. Follow my sister. Wait, where's my avatar? Here we go. Let's go. Life is not supposed to be full of pain. You can be free from strain. ParaMotion. Let's play more game. ParaMotion. We are warriors, signal warriors. Okay, check out the art, you guys. Amazing stuff. We welcome you in open arms. Open arms. Life is not supposed to be full of pain. You can be free from strain.